Hey everybody, this is going to be a cold start of my truck, the 2019 Ram 2500 with the Cummins turbo diesel. Ain't been started in a couple days, and it's pretty blue cold out here. I know you can't really see nothing right now. Let me see if we got any kind of light. We got some kind of light on here or something. I don't know. Let me see. There we go. All right, you can see a little bit now, maybe, but we'll go ahead and give it a whirl. It should start. Oh crap! Battery's going dead in the key fob. Yep. So it goes through a diesel preheat. I don't know, it hasn't disappeared, but it's got the little glow plug. There it goes. Yeah. So there it is. It fired right up, no problem. I know this is kind of a random little video, but as you can see, it says it's 30 degrees outside, which ain't really that cold of a cold start. I mean, it's pretty chilly out, but and I ain't posted any videos in quite a while, but the weather's been pretty nasty, so you can't really, I couldn't get outside and do much of anything. There ain't really been a whole lot going on around here, but I figured I'd make this video here and give it a cold start, let the truck warm up a little bit. And I got a humanitarian daily ration video I'm getting ready to do. I found one of those for a relatively good price and picked it up to do a review on it. It's a ration that basically goes to civilians if there's like a crisis or some kind of disaster that, you know, where it shuts down the whole country and nobody can, you know, go eat, can't make food or anything. So the government passes these out to about anybody in the world. But I'll talk more about it on when I make that video. I'll tell you all a little bit more about it, and we'll open it up and get a look at everything, and then I'll do it's a whole day worth of food, so there's going to be 3 separate meals in it. So after I open it up and we see what's in it, then I'll do 3 separate videos on the 3 separate meals. That way it don't take, you know, 2 hours to film everything, and plus I can't eat all the food at once anyway, so you kind of have to space it out all day long. But anyway, as you can see, the truck went into a high idle mode, which it does when the temperature gets down below, I think it's 48 degrees or something like that. If the outside air temperature's at least that cold or colder, it'll usually go into like a high idle mode, which is where the engine computer will bump the RPMs up to 1,000 RPMs after the engine is idled and build up sufficient oil pressure to, like, all the main bearings and the cylinder walls and valve train, so it doesn't try to race a cold dry engine. It waits for oil to be circulating before it does this, which is a pretty handy feature for this thing. It really helps, you know, warm this truck up faster too, instead of, you know, sitting waiting for about an hour for the older model diesel trucks to warm up. Some of the older ones would go into a high idle mode. I remember, like, the Dodge second gens, they would do like a 3-cylinder, I think it was called like a 3-cylinder high idle mode or something like that. I think it only did that with the 24 valve though. I don't recall it doing that with the 12 valves. But these ones here, they do it with all 6 cylinders. It's just, all it does is it revs the whole engine up itself, so up to 1,000 RPM. The computer does. And I can actually adjust the idle speed with this thing. I didn't figure this out until a little bit after I owned this truck for a little while, and then I had to give somebody a jump start, and I thought, well, I guess I'll just give it some fuel like I normally do, by just pushing on the gas pedal and shooting some extra juice to their battery so that it'll get their car started. And then I was playing around with the settings on the steering wheel. Of course, mine are that one button's kind of wore out, but there's a cruise control setting right there. And then you have the resume and the set, but it's also a plus and a minus. And what you can do is when the truck is in park like it is now, if you push the cruise control button and then push the plus button, it will actually raise the engine RPMs up to, you can adjust it between regular idle all the way up to 1,500 RPMs. Adjust the idle speed, and I'm thinking that was made like that so in case you was like one of the 5,500 cabin chassis models, and you was running a PTO that would raise and lower like a dump bed, like as a dump truck, and or just whatever kind of PTO. And I think they put that feature in there so you can adjust your RPMs and run that PTO. But for whatever reason, it also made it onto a 2500, which I don't really see much use for an external PTO on a 2500. It's not a heavy enough truck to be a dump truck. Maybe it could be for like a snowplow, I guess. You could run like a PTO that raises and lowers a snowplow blade, I guess, on a 2500. But I found it to be the only real use it has is for basically jump starting people, so you can get extra juices to the battery. But that's a pretty cool little feature, I thought. If it's accidentally integrated into a 2500 or not, but it's there. And let's see what else. This truck does not have a remote start. Yeah. Some of these trucks has a remote start if you get up to like a Laramie model. I think it's Laramie. It either starts at Bighorn or Laramie. Mine's a tradesman level 2, so I don't have any of the other extra fancy stuff like that. Mine's basically a bare bones work truck, except it's got the chrome package on it. It's got the chrome hubcaps on the steel wheels and the chrome grill and bumpers instead of that old flat black plastic, and the flat steel wheels. That's just kind of more boring. I had to have a little bit of chrome on this truck, whether it's probably not real, obviously. I'm sure all that's fake chrome on plastic, but it might be real on the bumper. I know the bumpers are steel, so it might be real on the bumper, but the grill, all that stuff's it's plastic, chrome plastic, so it's not really real. But as you can see, just sitting here talking, within the last minute or so, we've already warmed up the operating temperature. So it don't take this thing long to get up the operating temperature once it goes in the high idle mode. It's pretty quick. I don't know why this thing's showing up so cloudy. I don't know if it's because of the lighting in here, maybe. I don't know. Click on the other lamp reader light, see if that helps. Or it could be the gauges. The lighting on the gauges messing with it. I don't know. But yeah, it's got the Uconnect touchscreen radio with the Bluetooth and all that stuff in it. Let's see. Down here's your this is your exhaust brake. This is your tow haul mode, and then this is your rear park sensors on and off. Right now I have them turned off because I have a towing hitch in the receiver back there, and if that's turned on, and then you put a receiver hitch in there, you put a towing hitch in the receiver, then it'll detect that hitch and think you're close to something. It'll beep all the time in here. So when you got to make sure you turn that off when you put a tow hitch in the receiver back there, so you're not listening to constant beeping going down the road. But the exhaust brake, it works really good, especially when you got tow haul mode on. When you're in tow haul mode and you got the exhaust brake, it'll darn near stop you in the road when you're going down a hill. It kicks in so hard, but it don't exactly stop you, but it'll slow you way down pretty good, and it'll feel like it's going to stop you, but it'll let out once it gets down to a certain speed. It'll kind of let out. And this is the factory integrated trailer brake controller, which I think is pretty handy on these now. The newer ones, they all have these factory trailer brake controller settings. You can manually apply the brakes, or it does it automatically when you got a trailer plugged in with a 7-pin receiver. But when you squeeze that, you'll see it'll tell you your percentage of brake gain, and while you're towing, if you needed some extra stall power, you just grab it and squeeze it all the way up to 100, and then you can adjust it with these buttons here. You push of course it won't do nothing with no trailer hooked up, but when you got a trailer hooked up and you push the plus and minus buttons on here, you'll see it'll switch to that screen, and it'll manually adjust it up and down. Like if I can zoom in, it might not pick it up. Hey, there we go. Yeah, you see that there, it's a little screen there. It comes up. You can adjust it down, up and down. I think it goes up to 10. Yeah, it goes up to 10. I usually run it around 4.5, depending on how heavy the trailer is in towing. But yeah, these new trailers are pretty smart. I'll give them that. Or the trailers. These new trucks are pretty smart. I'll give them that. Them engineers really done some figuring and stuff. It's got the voice. That's the cruise control settings. This is the voice command button. I don't get much use out of it. Like, it don't even understand my accent, so go figure on that one. I kind of knew that was going to be worthless. And these are just buttons that cycles through the menu on the screen to show you all your different gauges, like your battery voltage, your DPF percentage, it's all that stuff. Which I might be putting some Mexico parts on this thing soon and getting rid of that. I don't know yet. Probably needs it before long anyway. Oh, here's your this is the manual gear select. So like when the roads are bad, I use this to go up and down the hills, especially going down the hills. I could turn this on and manually shift the transmission, because all the trucks now are, they're all automatic with the hybrid ability to manually shift with buttons. So basically it's like an automatic with a It's an automatic transmission, but it also has a manual valve body in it, in a sense, at the same time. I don't know but how the sign says on that, but anyway, I know, like, if you're going down a hill and the roads are like bad, I'll use this and kick it down to like second gear, and it'll never leave second gear. Like, second gear, it'll stay in second gear, and RPMs will go up. But what that does is that's essentially using my gears to hold me back on the hill and keep me from going too fast. And of course, let's see if I can zoom in on that. Yeah, there's your traction control button right there, and your hazards, whatnot. Yeah, these new trucks, they're pretty well laid out. I figured, I don't think I've ever really given much of a tour in here. This is a crew cab, 6.5 foot bed truck. They don't really make the quad cabs anymore like the older trucks did. They stopped making the quad cabs, and I believe they stopped making them in about 2009, 8 or 9, I think, right before they went to the 4th gens. And the 4th gens, it was basically crew cab or mega cab or regular cab. They just done away with the quad cabs. So, but yeah, I figured I'd give y'all a little tour in here while I was in here waiting for this truck to warm up before I go down the road. Of course, it's got the automatic driver's side automatic window button there. You push it down, it's got 2 detents in it and all that fancy stuff. I mean, it's the fanciest truck I've ever owned. Like, before this truck I've always owned like the older model trucks, and of course they was all pre-emission trucks. So the newest one I had before this was a 04.5. I traded it in on this truck, and with a couple deals, I was able to get this truck by trading in the old 04.5. I still kind of miss that truck, but it was probably not too far from its last leg, I don't figure. I mean, the engine still ran good, but it was getting up there in mileage, and usually stuff starts breaking after so long anyway on them. So I figured it was time for a refresh. This truck here is not that fresh anymore. I mean, of course, I use this truck. This truck does a lot of hauling and towing and stuff like that. So it gets used. It don't stay on the blacktop. It'll go off road, down dirt roads, in the pasture fields, everywhere, towing trailers, doing whatever. So I mean, it definitely gets used like a heavy duty diesel truck should. That's for sure. Been clear down to Tennessee, over in Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, and of course around West Virginia where I live. And then I've been down to Virginia and North Carolina, down to the beach and back. So it's been around a little bit. I'd like to take it on a little bit farther, but let's see. I'm sitting now at 92,868 miles, and when I bought it, it had 3 dealer miles on it. So the rest of them miles, all them miles but 3 are mine. And it still does good. It still does fine. But alright, I'll let y'all off here and won't keep y'all anymore. This video kind of went a little bit longer than I figured it would. I kind of started talking about the truck a little bit more, but I figured I'd give you a little tour. But yeah, I won't keep you any longer. Stay tuned. I'm going to have that ration video coming up. Probably be the next video I make. We'll do the ration video. But alrighty, we'll see y'all next time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm always making new videos. Never going to stop. Later.